Lies, duplicity, and callers take center stage in episode 7 of Andor, titled Announcement. This episode focuses on the fallout from last week's episode where our rebel heroes pulled off that epic heist on Aldhani. Now, while there may not be any space chases or explosions in Announcement, there is plenty of explosive drama happening throughout this episode. The tension between Luthen and Mon Mothma is interesting because they're both on the same side, but they're approaching the rebellion very differently. Luthen believes in taking bold risks and acting without a conscience, while Mon believes in carefully calculated acts of rebellion where innocent people don't get hurt. The moral gap between these two will definitely continue to widen, which will most likely lead Luthen straight to Saw Gerrera. We saw Luthen and Saw together in the Andor trailer, and we already know from Rogue One that Mon Mothma believes Saw to be an extremist. This infighting amongst the rebels adds depth and complexity to the unified rebel alliance that we see in the original trilogy. Everyone is taking sides, even if they're on the same side, like we see in this scene on Coruscant between Vel and Luthen's assistant, Clea, who's in disguise. It took me a moment to figure out who it was. We really see Clea's true colors when she shows no emotion while talking about Nemik and Terramon's death. She tells Vel that Cassian is a loose end who needs to be taken care of, and while she makes it seem like she's speaking on behalf of Luthen, I definitely think Clea is acting alone on this one. She's ruthless and cold-hearted, which is not something we're used to seeing in our Star Wars Rebels, but I like this complexity. We are seeing a whole new side of Mon Mothma in this series. Genevieve O'Reilly is phenomenal in this episode, and I love that we got a really juicy scene at one of her fancy dinner parties and her beautiful home. Even though she isn't going undercover like Cassian or Luthen, she's definitely playing a part. She's playing the part of an annoying senator, and it seems to be working since nobody knows what's going on just yet. We feel the danger that she is in with every word that she whispers to her old friend Tay. Smile, Tay. Keep smiling. I love that. We also learn that she has a family fortune that she's been using to fund the rebellion. We know that she comes from a political family, so it makes sense that she would be able to navigate this political world of the elite and fly under the radar for now. Speaking of family, we finally catch up with Cyril Karn, whose uncle Harlow has set him up with a job in the Star Wars equivalency of Office Space. In the Bureau of Standards, Cyril is, merely just a cog in the Empire's wheel, but this mundane job will probably lead him to finding out info on Cassian and get him right back in the Imperial mix, which is where he wants to be. I love the detail that Cyril gets his clothes altered. He gets his collar to be a little bit higher, his suit to fit a little bit tighter, because he wants so badly to be this hotshot Imperial, which he's definitely not at this moment in time. Dedra Meero not only dresses the part, but she is also Imperial excellence in every initiative she takes. Like previous episodes, I found myself rooting for her because she's an underdog in the ISB. This scene was particularly exciting because Wolf Yularen has returned to live action. Colonel Yularen first appeared in A New Hope, and he made several appearances in the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. It remains to be seen if he's going to be just a canon cameo or if he'll play a larger role in hunting down our dear rebels. Going behind the scenes of the Imperial Security Bureau has been an effective way to show us how merciless, conniving, and scary the Empire is without us having to see Vader or Palpatine, although the Emperor was name-checked a lot in this episode. I'm personally fine without seeing him in this series because I am more interested in seeing these two trying to claw their way to the top. Halfway through the episode, we finally catch up with Cassian, who is back home on Ferrix, which is now under Imperial occupation, thanks to his little heist. Fiona Shaw is again just fantastic to watch, and I like that we're seeing how the Aldhani mission has affected everyone in the galaxy. For Marva and rebels like her, it's a beacon of hope. For Mon Mothma, it means danger. For the Empire, it means they're gonna strike back. And for everyday people in the galaxy, it means suffering. Cassian does in fact flee to the beachy world of Niamos, a resort type of town. It really reminded me of Rosarito Beach in Baja, California, but I digress. He now goes by the name of Keith Gergo. He now has a girlfriend who really wants Greenie Revnog I love that we saw shore troopers again, but unfortunately for Cassian, he is profiled and stopped simply because he looks like he might be a part of the criminal activity that's going on around them. Whew, it echoes real life a little bit too much, if you know what I mean. When I saw that KX droid walking up, I thought it was K2SO coming to rescue our hero, but alas, we'll have to wait for their origin story another time. Cassian is used to landing on his feet, but because of the Aldani heist, the punishment for petty crime is way worse than it would have been. And so now he's been sentenced to 6 years in prison for a crime he didn't do, but kind of did, if you know what I mean. Maybe while Cassian is in prison, he's going to read Nemec's manifesto and decide to join the rebellion. I think it's definitely going to take some time, though, to get him there because he has seen that taking a stand against the Empire led to the death of his fellow crew, his birth father, and his adoptive father, Clem, which we saw in this episode. Episode 7 was expertly directed by Benjamin Caron, and the episode was written by Stephen Schiff, who was a writer and executive producer of The Americans. You know, this episode really resets the stage for the next act that is coming, because episodes 8, 9, and 10 are written by Beau Willimon, who wrote and created House of Cards. So you know, things are gonna ramp up and get really juicy from here on out. One last thing I want to mention is the brilliant work composer Nicholas Britell has been doing every episode of this series, and we finally got Star Wars trap music, which I never thought was going to happen, but it fit perfectly with the world of Niamos. What did you guys think of this episode? What were some of your favorite moments? What do you think is going to happen? I have some theories. I have more videos in the works, so be sure to subscribe and meet me back here, same time, same place, same Star Wars channel. Bye.